Welcome to Catalyst Conversations, the podcast where we spark powerful change in women's wealth. I'm Hadriana Leo, a wealth coach, counselor, and strategist, and each week we dive into the conversations, strategies, and stories that help women confidently create the life they've always dreamed of. So grab your favorite bevy, settle in, and let's get started on transforming your relationship with money. This is Catalyst Conversations, igniting change in women's wealth. Let's spark the conversation. Hey everyone, thanks for joining me and welcome to this episode of Catalyst Conversations. Today, we're actually going to talk about setting money goals that you don't hate. Yes, I said it. We're going to set money goals that we actually don't hate because the truth is, so often our goal setting is all about, grinding our way to getting that thing or, disciplining ourselves and creating rigid, inflexible, immovable, etched in stone goals that really they don't light us up at all. And inevitably, as you've probably experienced with any of maybe 1,000 New Year's resolutions, it does not typically work. I know that for many of us, we are constantly setting ourselves up to achieve big goals financially. So, for example, some of us want to pay off our debt. It could be, you know what, let's get that mortgage out of the way in 10 years instead of 30. It could be, let's clear out this student loan so that I'm not, held in a noose for the rest of my working life. It could be a saving goal where you really want to save for that down payment to buy that house. And these can feel really heavy. And yes, the good thing, the smart thing, the responsible thing is to set these goals, hopefully with intervals that you can celebrate along the way. But the truth is, the problems we're facing in achieving the goals, we think that it's us. We think that we're not achieving the goal because we have a problem. And yes, there are habits, there are hacks, there are things that you can do to help, achieve those goals. But I think for many of us, especially for us as women, the crux of the problem is the goal setting itself. The goal is the problem. And yes, I am all for setting goals. I get it. I love it. I do it myself. But the way we go about doing it, it's at the heart of why we're constantly missing, why we're constantly, failing, or at least telling ourselves we failed. And it creates a loop, a feedback loop that says, well, you set this goal, you didn't achieve it. Why set another goal? Because you're just not going to achieve it. And we set ourselves up to essentially self destruct with our goal setting. I'd like to introduce a new framework, a different way of setting your financial goals in a way that you're actually going to love the idea of pursuing it. You're going to be lit up when you think about achieving it. You're going to look forward to everything that's involved in making that goal come alive and come to fruition. So, first things first, what's wrong with the traditional way of doing it? I think for many years, the, I guess, the way we've been taught to set goals is to use the SMART acronym. So we're going to set SMART goals. I think it is a good thing. I do believe that setting goals that are specific, measurable, achievable. I think it's relevant and time bound. These are great. They work. And honestly, if it works for you, go for it. If SMART goals are working for you, then great. Go for it. You have my permission to stop the video right here. However, if you have ever struggled with achieving those SMART goals, then I'm going to invite you to participate in a new framework, a one that allows your head and your heart to work together. The problem with the SMART goals is that it is all head and no heart. And I believe that there is an emotional connection that is integrated. It is part and parcel of our entire financial experience. Too often we take the emotions and we park it away, but SMART goals eliminates any kind of emotional connection. And with money being so intertwined with our emotions, we have to bring that aspect into our goal setting. And especially for women, where we feel such deep ties between our wealth and our freedom, our safety, the joys that we experience. SMART goals do not take those into consideration. So it's really, really important that the way you set these goals, the way you set them up, that you factor those in. So consider that a goal without a soul, it's just a deadline. And what happens when people give you deadlines, depending on your personality and the way you best operate, it could either spur you on and then everything falls away, or it just shuts you down and nothing happens. So we want to ensure that in your goal setting you incorporate the things that are going to keep you motivated. We incorporate an innate desire within you, and you do not just depend on discipline. And that's what SMART goals were doing. SMART goals says, just set it up. Don't look left, don't look right. Focus on, put your blinders on, and just use discipline to push through anything that comes your way. Listen, we are women. We know that life throws all kinds of things at us. I mean, between the lunar cycle and all the other responsibilities that we have to deal with, anything can happen at any time and we cannot stop. At least that's what we keep telling ourselves. So our goal setting has to have the flexibility that allows us to move with the rhythms of our lives, with the rhythms of our emotion, and it takes into consideration our innate drivers, which discipline alone cannot take into consideration. So what is the alternative? If you want to stop creating goals that you hate, the alternative that I'd like to offer you is the H.E.A.R.T method. And the H.E.A.R.T method goes really well with my care methodology, which is at the heart, hello, of how I coach, the programs that we develop. It really is the foundation that allows both head and heart, math and mindset to come together to create a life of wealth, a life of wellness, a life that is healthy, wealthy, and whole. So, what is the H.E.A.R.T method? The H.E.A.R.T method. The H.E.A.R.T method is an acronym, and each letter, just like SMART, but now we're going to do it with H.E.A.R.T, each letter helps us consider the components of our goal setting that are going to really help us achieve it. And it'll create the desire, the momentum, the motivation that we need to actually achieve it. So, first things first, H, your goal needs to be holistic. Guys, your financial life is connected to every other aspect of your life. Everything else is connected. Your health is connected to your money. Your relationships connected to your money. Your well-being is connected to your money. Even for so many of us, how we see ourselves is connected to our money. So you need to ask yourself, how can I achieve this financial goal in a way that improves the rest of my life and doesn't sacrifice it? You see, I saw this clip some time ago of a young lady. I guess she was celebrating that she had eliminated a couple $100,000 of debt in about, I think, 18 months to 2 years, something like that. And I celebrated that for her because I mean, the relief in clearing that much debt must be phenomenal. Where I was deeply saddened is over the course of that time, she worked 3 jobs and sometimes 4. She would literally come home, sleep for 2 hours, go to another job, come home, sleep for a little bit more, and go to another job and sustain that for that time frame. In my mind, what she gave up in order to achieve that debt elimination was too much. And I'm sure it worked for her. But for me, I'm thinking about her quality of life, the quality of the relationships around her. How was she feeling about herself for her to sacrifice all these hours to work to pay off debt? What was she saying about herself that was tied to this debt? Could she not have achieved the same result with a more holistic approach that didn't sacrifice all these other components of her life? Our goal setting when it comes to our money must be holistic. It must take into consideration all the other things in our lives that make us whole, that make us well, that make us who we are. And we have to do it in such a way that nothing is sacrificed. Maybe in the short term, in the immediate term, perhaps, but over a medium to long term, we can't keep sacrificing our wholeness and our wellness just for the achievement of financial goals. So that goal must be holistic. The E, emotional. You must be able to feel the outcome of your plan. And I get that a lot. When you're saving for retirement, you're just saving for a time in the distant future for many of us, for some of us not so distant, but we're saving for this time far away, and we're saying to ourselves, I mean, look at the world, anything could happen at any time. There's not even a guarantee that you're going to be able to. And then anything could happen with the climate, anything can happen with our political systems. I mean, war can break out at the snap of a finger. So why bother to save for retirement? The difference in heart setting as opposed to smart goal setting is that when you set your goal up, you add an emotional component that allows you to feel the outcome of the goal. You're going to feel the experience before you actually live it out. You're going to experience it in the present, so you don't just focus on a number. If you're saying, I want to be debt free, I want to eliminate $20,000 of debt, you're just looking at a number and watching digits change as you keep working towards it. The difference here is when you focus on the feeling, when you focus on that feeling, you get to experience the goal achieved now. And that experience, that goal achievement in the present is actually going to fuel you to achieving that goal down the line. A goal without an emotion, it's like operating a car without gas. It's like you're driving on fumes. It's like you're living without properly feeding your physical body. It's the same thing with your goal. If your goal has no emotional outcome tied to it, you're just grunting your way through this thing. And who wants to live like that? We have so many other challenges in life. Certainly, we can find emotion and joy that we can attach to the outcomes. So, if you're looking forward to debt elimination as perhaps one of your goals, you need to tie that feeling of freedom that you're going to have when you no longer have to make that payment. Perhaps you can also tie into that emotion of saving and that security that you're going to feel when you no longer have people calling your phone and asking you for money. That emotion is going to be the fuel that gets you to realizing that goal. So make sure that that goal is emotional. Next, A for aligned. Alignment is so important when it comes to goal achieving. In fact, throughout our entire financial lives, if our financial existence is out of alignment with who we are, what we believe, and what we value, you will constantly have conflict within your life, with your money, with your relationships, and everything that money touches. Goals must be in alignment with your core values, not just the big things, not just, you don't want to see people dying in wars and you want to save the climate. These are large issues, but also your core values of generosity, your core values of freedom and security, the things that move you as a person, as a human, as an individual. These values must be in sync with your goals. So if one of your core values is generosity, then you're going to have a conflict if your goal achievement relies on you no longer making charitable contributions. It's just not going to work because there's going to be a part of you that's in conflict with this goal that you want to achieve. Ensure that in achieving that goal, you can maintain alignment with the things that you most value. Ensure that you take the time to explore it. And I'm just going to say it here. The biggest challenge with the H.E.A.R.T method of goal setting and goal achieving for your finances is the time it's going to take to do it. It's the introspection that you're going to need to do in order to make this work. Smart goals are easy. Put numbers on a page, put dates, put timelines, and that's easy peasy. That's all left brain. That's all like black and white, and there's nothing to it. It either works or it doesn't work. The H.E.A.R.T method really calls on you to explore, to go deeper, to seek the whys and the feelings and all these things that make you who you are, to go into that exploration and tie it to your goal achievement. So yeah, I get it. It's probably not the thing you might want to do, but I guarantee you that H.E.A.R.T method approach to financial goal setting is a game changer. It gives you your life back and it allows you to achieve your goals. So yes, your goals must be in alignment. So instead of setting restrictive goals that's going to take away from your capacity to have a rest and rejuvenate and come back again so you can spend some time with the family, rejig that. Set it up so that you can release the restrictions so that your value system can be maintained, and you will find that goal achievement is no longer onerous. It's something that you can actually find joy in. It actually stops you from working against yourself. Think about that for a minute. All right, let's get to the R. Your goal must be rewarding. Guys, I say this and I'm going to say it again. Wealth is not a destination, wealth is the journey. You cannot only be rewarded or once you achieve the goal. You need to find rewarding, joyful experiences along the journey. The journey is what needs to be rewarding. And the celebrations have to happen as you hit all of the milestones along the way. Build those milestones in, build in the celebrations because progress is worth celebrating. If we're only going to celebrate when we hit the finish line, imagine all the opportunities we've had along the way where we could have refreshed ourselves, where we could have taken the glass from the people passing by and enjoyed a little Gatorade to refresh and refuel and sweeten our palates. Make it so that we can enjoy the journey. If you can bring a friend along, why not? But in setting goals that are rewarding, we reframe the process from it being a punishment to actually being a positive experience all the way through. So, why don't you take the opportunity now and build in some milestones, build in some checkpoints, build in some celebrations so that your financial goals are not just these far away, distant, never to be seen ever, or hardly able to catch it, touch it, or feel it. Um, we want to ensure that these celebrations are put in between, so that the end point or the perceived end point, it's enjoyable getting to it, and it is also enjoyable, and we can take it step by step. We can go, we can acknowledge, and we can build ourselves up So we're not completely like lifeless when we hit the goal. In fact, we've been so fueled along the way, we get to cross that finish line, big cheers, lots of energy, and ready to hit that next goal, that next milestone, because the journey has been so rewarding. And finally, T for transformational. A great goal doesn't just change your bank account, it changes you. A great financial goal is not just about seeing $0 on your balance, on the balance from your credit card company. A great goal, it's not just about, seeing that $1 million accumulated in your retirement savings account. A great goal doesn't just change the logical left brain black and white numbers of the experience, it changes who you are. It's not just about what you will have at the end of the goal achieving, it's about who you will become. Who are you becoming as you achieve that goal? What is that experience creating in you? Who are you becoming as you journey to that destination? A real great transformational goal is going to have you becoming something that you probably couldn't even imagine, but it is a great iteration of your best self. That transformational goal is going to move you from the wonderful person you are now to an even more wonderful person at the next milestone, and then at the next milestone. Finance is a great opportunity to participate in all of us becoming our best selves, learning some critical lessons, impacting lives around us. That transformational journey, it has to be one that changes not just the external circumstances that we're living in, but also the internal environment of who we are and how we can become the best version of ourselves. So, this is deep work. I'm not going to tell you that it's not. It's deep work, it is foundational work, and it's what happens inside of my coaching programs. If I just was going to help you create a budget, and, do some quick math to eliminate debt, or build up your savings, I couldn't charge you for that because that information is already out there. Just Google it. But if you want truly transformational experiences with your money, with who you are, how you relate to it, and how you can create impact and real change in the world, then we start talking about heart goals, the heart method of goal setting, and the care methodology for creating that confidence, clarity, and control that you want over your money so that you can manage your money in ways that align with what you value the most. So if you are ready to build wealth with heart, and you want to learn more about my one-on-one care coaching, please visit my website. It's moneynavigator.ca. I'd love to explore this with you. Sign up for a free coaching experience call. Let's uncover some moves you can make to really create transformational growth in your wealth journey. And then let's see how we can impact this world together. Thanks so much for joining me. Until next time, take care. Thank you for joining me today on Catalyst Conversations. I hope this episode sparked something powerful to help on your journey to building wealth confidently and unapologetically. If you loved today's conversation, be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if something resonated with you, I'd love to hear about it. Let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, keep moving toward your goals, stay empowered, and continue sparking change on your wealth journey. This is Hadriana, and you've been listening to Catalyst Conversations.